Hello and welcome to Data After Hours. I'm your host, Eric Ballish, and this is Season 2, Episode 5. This podcast is all about stepping beyond the data to uncover the unique passions and interests of the people who make up the analytics community. Today, I'm joined by Kayla Swain, a business intelligence specialist at Archwell Health with over 7 years of experience in analytics. She's a Tableau ambassador and co-lead of the San Diego Tableau user group, helping others grow in the data space through community and storytelling. But outside of work, Kayla's interests might surprise you. Listen in as we dive into her world beyond data and explore the hobbies that fuel her creativity and excitement. You won't want to miss this one. This is Data After Hours. Hey, Kayla, welcome to the show.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm so excited to have you on and to catch up. For those on the call on listening, Kayla and I used to work together. We no longer do, but we are still connected through the Tableau community, and she'll always be a good friend to me. And so I'm really excited to have you on. And before we get into kind of your interests and hobbies outside of work, could you just share with our listeners how you're involved in the analytics community and sort of what you do for work?
Yeah, sure. So you kind of touched on it. This is my second year being a Tableau ambassador, but I've been working with Tableau for a while now. And I got involved in the community, maybe, I think during the pandemic was when I first published something to, Tableau Public. For work, I'm working healthcare. So the company I work for is focused on value-based care. We operate primary care centers for Medicare population. And we try to take kind of like a holistic and preventative approach. So working in the analytics team, do a lot of reporting based on different quality metrics, focus on care, things like that.
Awesome. That's cool. I went to school for healthcare administration, so I always thought I was going to hopefully make a career in the healthcare space, just doing Tableau for the rest of my life. But that's changed quite a bit. But my first gig out of school was doing that. But yeah, I love blending together. I think a lot of us in the Tableau space that I've talked to, or at least in the data space, we all kind of have these backgrounds in like biology or like science backgrounds. And then I realized I couldn't make it in chemistry. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be a doctor. So, but I still want to positively impact healthcare through data. And I think in roles like what you're involved, it's a really cool way to do that. And so I love seeing how we can use data to, positively impact the lives of people through in healthcare.
Yeah, and I think, living in Nashville, it's kind of a healthcare hub. So it was at some point you're going to come into the world of healthcare. So living there, I ended up, falling into that space, and I've loved it though. Kind of like you said, I couldn't be a doctor, so it's like the next best thing.
Yeah, for sure. And if people wanted to connect with you, where is the best place to do that?
Right now, probably LinkedIn. Kayla Swain on LinkedIn. You can find me there.
Cool. Sweet. All right. So now we know what you do for work and your involvement in the analytics community, but what do you like to do beyond your 9 to 5?
So for the last couple of years, and we've talked about this a little bit, I've been learning how to DJ, which whenever I tell anyone, they're really, really surprised because I'm, for the most part, pretty introverted. And so when I tell my friends, they're like, they can understand the love for the music because I've always loved music, but the part of being in front of people, playing it in public, is always kind of surprising. So, but I've been doing that for I think it's been 2 years now.
Oh, nice.
I'm also learning piano, so just kind of fully indulging my music interests.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. We're definitely going to unpack that a little bit. But yeah, I remember when you first told me this, I was like, oh, wow. I just, like you said, you're a little introverted. I never expected you to do something like this. And it's super cool. And I think out of a lot of the hobbies, we get a lot of people on the show. It's like I like to do baking and cooking and, or I work out or golf or, things like that. But DJing is definitely one of the most unique things we've had. So I'm really excited to kind of unpack that a little bit more.
Cool.
I think last year when we were at Tableau conference together, before we went to one of the events, we were at the one hotel that I was staying at. I think the Marriott, they had a rooftop and we were having some drinks up there.
Yeah.
Was that the first venue that you DJ'd at? Or had a set at?
Yes, that was my first place, and it's like the coolest first place to have because you're on this really nice rooftop, and if you look out, you see the baseball field. I can't remember. I think it's Petco. You see
Hmm.
the huge baseball field, and like it's just a really cool kind of laid back spot. So that was my first time, and it was very quick. It was like 30-minute set, but I was like super nervous. But once you get up, like once you start, it's kind of like whatever happens happens, and like if you make a mistake, no one can really tell, so you just get in the flow of it, and then it's like, okay, this is
Hmm.
cool.
Nice. What do we think about making sure the Tableau community hears our recording today, and then we get you a spot at Tableau conference to
Uh,
DJ?
where? not
Maybe I don't data night out. Maybe somewhere in like
not
the.
there.
Could you
Night out.
imagine in like the data village if we had a little like DJ like pump up section?
I feel like there's some like, isn't there some like Tableau data music or something that people have made? We could throw some of that in a playlist.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So how did you first get into DJing, and like what drew you to it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved music. Like when I was a kid, like I was the one in the car who decided what everybody else was going to listen to. So like I feel like that's where like it began. And like when I was a kid, I used to like take other people's albums. So like if I go to my grandmother's or aunt's house or something, like I was stealing CDs from them. And so that kind of helped shape like my music taste and like a wide range of interests, music like genre wise. And so like a few years ago, I think I was at like a party or something, and I was just really, really watching the DJ, and I was just like, I think I could learn how to do that. Like it's like why couldn't I, right? Like I could learn how to do that. So I started talking about it off and on, and then my roommate was like, why don't you just like try? So I went to Guitar Center, got a little controller, tried to teach myself, had no idea what I was doing. And I found someone online here who does like a DJ school. So like I just
Cool.
hit him up, and we started learning, and it was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. And he was just kind of like, at first I was like, well, I just want to learn so I can, know how to do this. He's like, if you're gonna learn, you got to do it. Like you got to get out there, you got to perform. So he was just kind of the one that pushed me to like actually go somewhere and DJ. But at first I was just thinking I just want to learn so I can DJ for myself in my, you know, home. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
That's so cool. Yeah. So now I feel like, do you have a small like DJing community from like that class and everything that?
Yeah, like he has a lot of, his students that when he's doing a gig or something, like he'll, bring us along. Like we just
Mhm,
did one Saturday for St. Patrick's Day. So we were on a boat on a harbor.
mhm,
This is a boat that kind of goes in a circle for like 4 hours. Like it just kind of goes down, comes back. And so we were all in there. Some of his newer students, some students have been there who've been here, who've been with him for a while. And yeah, we're just having a good time and DJing, and it was an interesting St. Patrick's crowd.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Oh, that's so cool though.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing this. I guess, do you have like a go-to genre or vibe when DJing?
So for the most part, up until now, like I've been doing mostly like hip hop, like 90s hip hop, some top 40 because you can't really get away from like the Bruno Mars, Pitbull type stuff. 'Cause people like
Oh,
those songs, so that's
Pitbull.
what they would hear. But like for the last few weeks, I've really been like deep diving into like Afro house. And like there's a genre, it's called organic house. I don't really know what the like what who chooses the names for the different house genres, but it's like 50 different names.
Mhm.
But it's more like melodic house kind of vibe. So
Okay.
that's what I'm listening to right now, a lot. I just did like a mix for that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more house music. But for the most part so far it's been like it's what's called like open format, and
Mhm.
that's for DJs who kind of jump in and out of like top 40 pop, hip hop kind of music.
Nice. That's cool. Any DJs or artists that you are inspired by?
I really like Questlove from The Roots.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, like
Nice.
I just like I think he has a similar kind of interest in like a wide range of things. And I just like some of the things that he's put together, and I like just his love of the history of music. I've been like I said, I've been listening to a lot more house, and so I've kind of been researching like the early house, Chicago house scene, and kind of how that's like expanded and become what house is now. Jazzy Jeff, I like him. And there's kind of like a lot of local DJs around here that I like as well.
Mhm. Nice. That's really neat. I don't know what it really takes to be a DJ. So is the like when I think about like the equipment, like how much equipment do you need? Is it like I'm assuming it's like pretty expensive too, right?
It can be. I mean, it's like because of technology, like you can do a lot more with less. Like when I first started, I had a really small controller that was like $200. So like you have a small controller, you get DJ software on your computer, and for the most part, that's like really all you need. Like if you go somewhere, they have speakers.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, but that's like digital, right? So like the controller I have now is a little bit nicer. So there's more buttons. Like there's more
Okay.
different cool things you can do. And then like if you're like legit like old school, then you have vinyl. And so that's a completely different setup that also can be more expensive. But like there are people who are like along the I guess spectrum of like purists who are like you should be able to do vinyl and you don't use these features. Like, you know, that is a shortcut kind of thing.
Oh, of course.
So it's like it's very there's like schools of thought. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know. So I don't know how to do vinyl yet. At some point I want to learn that. Um because I want to feel like, you know, like back in the day when they were DJing, they didn't have a computer, right? So
Mhm.
like a huge part of mixing songs is like they have you want to match the beat. So like, you know, if this song is going really, really fast, you want the song to be going at this other song to be going at the same speed. And so doing that with a computer is really easy because I can look at my computer and it'll tell me, you know, like if you're DJing with vinyl and no computer, then you're doing it all by ear. So it's like so yeah, so like they just had to, you know, they would come to a party with a bunch of like crates of records, and they're just doing it completely on the fly, no computer, all by ear, all just kind of by feel,
Yeah.
keeping a like a 4 or 5 hour party going. Like
Oh my gosh. That's so
yeah,
cool. Yeah, you could do like there's like the classic like, video montage of a DJ like spinning a record in their hand and placing it on the table.
yeah,
That's what you'll be doing.
yeah, and or just like you know, I don't know, like I want to learn vinyl just because of like the like I said the purest of it, but like I
Mhm.
don't know if I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing vinyl like you know for 4 hours straight. Like
Yeah,
you know, I think
it's a
like
lot.
they're like legit. Like my teacher, he's done that. He does mostly digital now, but like you know, and to the OGs of DJing, like that's seen as kind of like the holy grail, you know?
Hmm. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I guess if you had to open, and I know we touched on like some artists that inspire you, but if you had to open for any artist or play at any venue, do you have like a dream gig? Like,
I mean, my favorite venue of all venues is not really a DJ venue, but like they like people do concerts there. So like the Hollywood Bowl, like if someone
Mhm.
was on tour at the Hollywood Bowl and I could like open for them, like a K Tronada, or I mean, you know, if we're going all the way big, obviously like a Beyonce or something, right? Like
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know, the set when people are coming into the concert and
yeah,
everybody hype. Like I would like to do that at the Hollywood Bowl. That would be dope.
yeah, yeah. That would be really cool. Awesome. Well, I feel like we could talk about this for hours, but I do want to talk about another shared passion and hobby of ours. I know that just working with you before, this is something we talked about a lot. I felt like when we would, catch up, in a week, we would just kind of do our debrief on like Broadway shows. So I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with like the music and like your passion for music. So have you seen any good Broadway shows recently?
You know what? I haven't been to any. There's a new one here in San Diego. It's called Three Summers of Lincoln.
Okay.
So I've been trying to get tickets for that. And like there's like one ticket left, and it's like behind a pole. So trying to get tickets for that. I think the last thing I saw was it Tina. I think I saw Tina for the second time here.
Uh,
That might be the last time I saw something.
I'm jealous that you've seen Tina twice. That
Yeah.
is still I think in like my top three. I love the ones about like a musical band or
Yeah.
person like Jersey Boys, Tina, Ain't Too Proud with the Temptations. What's I think Girl from the North Country. That's about like Bob Dylan and his music. Like all those ones about just like their come up and the struggles that they went through and the music like it those are my absolute favorite.
Yeah, it is really cool just how they like weave the music in to help tell that person's life story. Like I love that. Tina's probably like top three for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, especially everything that like she had to go through. When you learn about that and then like you just like you hear her music, it's so powerful. And yeah, that is definitely one show that I need to see again.
yeah.
We're doing we're doing a trip to New York, and it's not like a Broadway show or anything, but Hugh Jackman is performing a lot of his like songs from different musicals that he's been in. So it's kind of just like a Hugh Jackman show.
I like
Um,
the Greatest Showman.
yeah, yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, that is great too. There's not a play about that, right? It's just a movie.
I feel like it's got to be at some point.
Yeah, it has to be. And if he's not it would just be weird, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He
Which
has
is
to
like
definitely
too.
reprise his role in that.
Yeah,
What's another one that Six? We've seen Six, right?
yeah.
That's another
Uh,
one that is. Well, I like that one. It's like 80 minutes straight through, no intermission. But the music
yeah,
in that is also like so good. It's so funny and like powerful at the same time. That one's another really good
yeah.
one.
They hit a lot of different genres and stuff too. Like, and you learn a little bit. I didn't, about each of those
Mhm.
wives.
Yeah. I know that music plays like a huge role in Broadway and DJing. So, do you ever find any inspiration, like when you're just like kind of practicing at home? Do you ever draw from any like Broadway stuff at all? It'd be kind of
You know
funny.
what? My next kind of goal is like to learn how to make my own like remixes, and so
Oh, cool.
once I learn how to do that, like I'm definitely gonna do some Hamilton like remixes of
Oh,
songs.
nice. Yeah, that would be so sweet. Yeah,
Damn.
actually, I'm gonna go back to the DJing stuff. Is there any? Maybe you're not open to sharing this publicly yet, but if people wanted to listen to you, is there a place where we could like listen to some things that you've put together?
Yeah, I do have a SoundCloud. Like,
Oh, cool.
send it to you. But I can't remember honestly my full SoundCloud handle right now. But like,
It's okay.
I just actually did my house mix, so it's on there. Like the other stuff is it's obviously hip hop top 40, so you know it's not PG, but
Yeah.
we're all adults, so he'll be okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No worries. Yeah, I would love to take a listen. And I'll leave that up to you if you want to share that out
Yeah, I'll
publicly
send
with.
it to you.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. Um, I guess kind of relating this back to kind of your work in analytics, but do you kind of see any connections between your hobbies and your work in data, or is it just, this is totally where you unplug and totally separate from, what you do?
No, there's like a lot of overlap. Like I think music and math, because ultimately at the bottom of what we do is a lot of math, and like they're really the same. Like they kind of work on patterns, and especially for what we do, a lot of it is storytelling, and a lot of it is trying to like evoke emotions.
Hmm.
In our case, like we're trying to move people to action. And to be honest, in DJ and music, like you're trying to move people to a different action, but to action, right? Like to dance, have a good time. So I think it's kind of cool to see that like what I really love is storytelling and like that can encompass a lot of different things. And so it's like it's kind of been like exploring that just in different realms, if that makes sense.
Hmm. No,
So
that's sweet. I, you summed that up like better than I could have even like thought on my own. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the storytelling aspect. It's right. Like when I hear, like when I go see a band or a DJ, it's like I want to enjoy their music and listen. And you're right, like the action of that. But then the same thing with data and storytelling. It's like we want to have actionable insights come out of our data and like what we build. So there's a storytelling aspect there. That's yeah, that's really true.
and like even some of the principles, right? Like of doing certain, like in in Tableau or in Data Viz, like you use color or you use some type of theme or motif to kind of like represent something throughout your dashboard. Like you can do that in music too. Like we see that in Broadway, right? Like
Mhm.
there's always these different kind of riffs. Like in Hamilton when Angelica comes on stage, like you hear that same little riff in the background or melody. Like you're using kind of the same principle of like when you see this color, it means this, or when you hear this melody, this person is like the main character right now.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's so true. That was great. That's actually I want to ask that question more to people because I feel like there's always some type of overlap. That was the first time I asked, and so thank you for really going through that and explaining it to everybody. I think it totally makes sense. So now we're kind of getting to the end of the show here, but I do have a few rapid fire questions that are kind of like this or that style.
Hmm.
So we'll go through those and see what you think here. So my first one: old school vinyl or digital DJ setup?
Well, I mean,
Kind
for
of
me,
touched on that.
digital DJ setup. But if I'm listening to another DJ, I would like I like to see like how the vinyl guys work. Like
Mhm.
it's really cool to me. So
That's cool. High energy club mix or smooth lounge vibes?
I'm a smooth lounge vibe person. One, I'm older, so like I'm not trying to always be out 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just a smooth lounge like Sade, neo soul
Mhm.
type of vibe. Yeah,
Yeah. You're not trying to do like the whole Kygo beach party mix.
not often.
Yeah. I think you actually alluded to this earlier, but Hamilton or Les Mis?
Hamilton.
Hamilton. All right. Front row Broadway seats or backstage access?
It depends if I'm really like the people that are in a show, like if I'm coming to the show to support specific like actors or actresses, then backstage.
Okay.
If it's like a new show or something, then I'm cool with front
All
seats.
right. Headlining a festival or DJing an intimate exclusive event?
Definitely intimate exclusive event. That's like those are always fun to me.
Yeah. And then classical Broadway musicals or kind of like your modern productions?
I would say I probably know the modern ones more.
Mhm. Are you more? This is a bonus one.
Mhm.
More musicals or plays?
Musicals.
Musicals, yeah.
I've only seen a couple plays like in person, so I've seen
Mhm.
mostly musicals.
Yeah. We've been getting into the plays a little bit more. I think like sometimes I mean, like the acting in musicals are good, but like musicals are always like fun and typically have like a happy
Yeah,
ending. Like sometimes the plays, like the real life acting right in front of you, it's like, I mean, like I get like goosebumps sometimes when we see
yeah.
those. So we've been getting into those a little bit more.
I think the biggest one I saw was like Of Mice and Men, and that was
Okay.
I think I was crying by the
Yeah.
end. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
One last question. What's one hobby or skill you've always wanted to try but haven't yet?
I would say like growing up, like I was never the most coordinated person, so like I didn't do a lot of active things. But like if I could try something, it's I don't even know what I can't remember what it's called. It's like the people who like swing on their like sheets. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like acrobatic,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
aerial something.
Aerial, yeah, just something like that. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. That. Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I would try that if I was more coordinated.
Yeah, well, maybe we could have you on in like a few years, and that could be your new hobby.
We'll see.
Uh, all right, Kayla, thank you so much for joining me. It was great to have you on and catch up. I love learning more about your DJ journey and just catching up on our Broadway show tunes stuff. But yeah, definitely wish you the best in your DJing career, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
someday we can see you on a lineup or a music festival somewhere.
You never know.
Awesome. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Data After Hours. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more fascinating stories from the data world and beyond. Until next time, stay curious and good night.